Alright, Richie, Bulletin Brothers. Funny thing is, I made a video about this. Your strings popping off, and look what happened to me on a hunt. What basically happened, I was actually hunting out of a saddle, and I tried a shot at I drew back on an awkward angle shot. Extremely awkward. And I didn't like the shot, so as I let down, I must have torqued the bow enough. When I let down, the strings popped off. Sure enough, that ended my hunt, and my strings came off. So I'm going to take it back to my archery shop, have them pop on. I mean, everything looks good. Like I said, 90% of the time there's no damage or something like this. But I'm surprised it happened. It never happened to me before. So that's it, Richie. Well, actually, I shouldn't have said it. It did happen to me, but I wasn't pulling back the bow. Somebody else pulled back my bow once, and dry fired it and almost destroyed it, but it happens, and I won't do that again. Hey, it's Richie Bulletin Brothers. How's it going, boys and girls? Well, you see that little quick clip. I was actually out on a saddle hunt, and I got home. I filmed that real fast before I ran to my archery shop to get the strings put back on. So basically, the ironic thing is I made a video a while back, about maybe a year ago, I don't even know how long ago, about strings popping off, how it can happen. And it happened to me. Now, there's a big difference between a derailment and a dry fire. Dry fire is it's catastrophic. I mean, if you don't have an arrow, all that energy, damage cams, limbs, I mean, it could be really, really bad. I mean, your strings have to be totally replaced, but a derailment is different. Derailments is when the string is coming off at a certain type of draw, you're letting down at a weird angle, but you're still controlling the energy of the bow somewhat. And you have an arrow now. So that's what happened to me. I was actually saddle hunting, and I had a little spike buck, and it was on my weak side. So I said, let me just give it a nice practice run here. So I spun around. I was at a weird angle because of the tree, and there was this one branch. And I got full draw on the deer. Deer never seen me. I was like, great. So when I kind of went to go back, I was at a weird position, and I went to let down the bow at like hip high, like kind of like this, and the string just literally came off. So that's called a derailment, and that ended that hunt. So it happens, and just want to point that out to you, and especially if you're in the tree stand saddle hunting, you got weird positions, it can happen. Now the triax, Matthew's triax was a short bow, and they had issues. There were some issues with people getting derailments, because the string angle for, tall guys, 29, 30-inch draws, is kind of awkward. And there's so much energy in that little short, bow, that there was some derailment issues. And what Matthews did, if you look at the vertex, that's why I was kind of surprised it happened. Look at the end of this cam right here. There's a lot of meat right here. You got a good 1/4 inch over the string. So I just want you to see that. So it's right here. So yeah, there's a lot of meat right there. So to address that, here's like a cam, with the triax and the halons. You can see there's not a lot of meat right here. It kind of just a little bit, but nothing like what the Vertex has. So the Vertex, Matthews came out with that. I guess they said, hey, some people are complaining about this. So they gave you a little bit more meat right here. So that's why I was surprised it happened. But it does happen. There's so much energy with these bows, especially if you're shooting 70, 80 pounds. I shoot relatively low. I'm shooting like just under 60 pounds, and it can still happen. So that's it. Richie Bulletin Brothers. Things happen. A derailment, usually it's not catastrophic. Usually you just got to go somewhere, or you can do it yourself. Put the strings back on. Usually strings are still good to go. Just make sure everything's good. I went to my archery shop. He put them on. Okay, let's shoot a few hours. Make sure everything's still in time. The D-loop's good. My peep is good. Everything is good. So everything was fine. So thank God for that. But usually, there's a big difference between a derailment and a dry fire. So when you go to if this happens to you, be honest with your archery shop. Tell them, listen, I fucked up. I dry fired. Or, hey man, I was in the tree stand. And they can tell. They can tell the difference sometimes between a simple derailment and a catastrophic dry fire. So Richie, Bulletin Brothers, quick little video of something that happened to me. kind of ruined my day, but that's why I always have two bows, especially if I go on a hunt out of state. If something like that happens, you could be screwed. So that's why I always have a backup bow. So Richie, bullets for broadheads, over and out.